I just got this new knife. It's an Ontario Bushcraft Field knife. I've been waiting a while to get this knife. I want to do a quick little review slash my 2 cents now that I have it in hand. I want to also say before I start the video that I have not tested the knife in the field to see how good it is for its abilities, but I do have other Ontario knives that I own, and judging by Ontario's reputation and the way they perform for me, I'm gonna go ahead and assume this knife is gonna be fantastic with no worries whatsoever. And then one more thing is I want to say that I also love Ontario. That is probably my number one heavy duty outdoor knife brand that I like to go to. I love their knives. I love their value and what they offer for the price, and it's all made in USA. And another little tip that I want to put out there, in case someone doesn't notice in these videos, is that I am also a drop point knife enthusiast. That's my favorite type of blade styles, the drop points. So with all that being said, moving on, this is the Ontario Bushcraft Field knife. It's a fairly recent knife in Ontario's lineup. Since I'm an Ontario fan, when I first saw this knife, I really wanted to get it, since I've been looking for a smaller knife that's more capable for smaller woodworking applications, easier to carry in backpack, carry on the hip, also food processing and those types of things. And also, as a bit of a knife junkie, I just wanted a new knife anyway, so this seemed like the next logical choice for me. So with that, the sheath on this knife, right off the bat, we'll just get to what's not that great out of the way. This is the sheath that comes with it. This is a some kind of label that's on the back. At least it says it's made in USA, so that's kind of cool. The stitching is not too bad. It's made of some kind of cloth, like the ones we see all the time. It does have a pouch. One thing I want to note that I think is kind of cool is that this one does have a button pouch instead of a Velcro pouch. A lot of them have Velcro, and I personally don't like Velcro on anything that's going to go into the outdoor. I think Velcro is loud. I've found that Velcro gets clogged with grass, with string from other stuff, and over time Velcro tends to fail, and I think that's one of the cheapest things you can do. I'm sure Velcro has its place, but I don't feel like it's on this. So with that being said, I like the button, and the button seems to be very heavy duty, and it clips on very strong. It takes quite a bit to open that button. It snaps with authority. It seems like a good quality button. The stitching, like I said, it seems decent. I don't think this is going to be better than say a Kydex sheath or a custom leather sheath, or a much more high-end woven sheath like this one. But for what it is and for what you're getting, I don't think it's bad. The knife is I paid $80 for the knife, delivered with free shipping, and for the price you pay, the sheath is not very great. But at the same time, I mean, what do you expect? This is really about the knife, and most people are gonna want to upgrade the sheath anyway. So that is why Ontario is able to get you knives for such a good price, is because they focus their priorities on the knife. They focus their attention to what's important in the knife. Obviously, if you wanted more features, the knife's going to be a lot more expensive. You throw in a Kydex sheath, now you're going to be looking at a $180 knife. Same knife, but with a different sheath, $180. Also, Ontario doesn't, mess around with a lot of little things that you don't need in the knife, like, funky polishings or any, type of engraving. They just make a purpose-built knife, and they make a very quality knife. So anyways, that's the sheath. This sheath does not have a point down here to tie to your leg, but the sheath is, fairly small, so I don't think that's really necessary. It does have a fairly large belt loop. Again, it has a button clip on the top, and from what I can see, it holds the knife very well. It does not want to fall out at all. Its looseness bangs a little bit, nothing bad at all. Nothing that I'm like, I don't like that, I have to go get a new sheath. If I was a little bit more crazy into that than I would, this sheath for me will serve its purpose just fine. And then if one day needs a new sheath, then I'll buy a new sheath. But till then, I'll run this into the ground till it's done. The knife also comes with this Paracord survival little setup here that you know comes separate, and I just tied it on as a lanyard, but you know you can unravel it. The paracord seems pretty high quality. I have not checked inside the paracord to see if it has any of the fishing line inside. It might have that inside, I'm not 100% sure. It also comes with a fire starter, which in my opinion is a fairly good one. I've used a bunch of different ones, and this one seems to be actually pretty good. It strikes very easily, has some kind of measuring tool on there if you need that. I'm not exactly 100% sure what this part is here, either to scrape some material off the fire starter or scrape shavings off a piece of wood. I'm not 100% sure what that even is for, but a little tool there. It could be served by as a bottle opener and multi-tool type setup, and it actually strikes very well. I don't think I can do this with one hand. Let me see if I can set this up. There you go. You can see how easily that strikes. That was one-handed just sitting on the table. What else? So now to the knife. Let's get that boring stuff out of the way. The knife itself, it has a button clip up here which holds the knife very well, and I do like the fact that they put the button at the top. It keeps the sheath from flopping around, because usually when you tie them down here, it leaves more room for the knife to, for example, flop like this, to where it'll be flopping like this and opening on you like that. Even if it's retained, it won't fall out, but I just think it makes for a looser, more wobbly setup, and I actually like this. And again, the button seems very good quality. I like seeing the button on there. The snap is always nice, and it seems to have a little metal piece there that helps for snapping it on for added leverage, to really kind of get it in there and snap it down like that. And that also helps as a lifting tab to unsnap it like that, and I feel it works very fine. Now onto the meat and potatoes of the whole setup, the knife itself. So here is the knife. As you can see, it's a drop point. It's got a laminated wood handle, which I think is very nice. The wood on it, it's sanded really well to where it's a smooth finish. The transition here from the tang of the knife is very smooth. There is nothing for my fingernail to catch on. It is very well done, very smooth. You're not going to have the metal rubbing into your hand. Now I would say I have basically a large to extra large hand, and when I grip up tight at the top of the knife, you can see I still have room. If I come down, still have room. You can do 3-finger grip on that if you wanted to for better chopping ability. 2-finger if you wanted to for swinging it that way. And as you can see, the knife would have the ability to chop if you wanted to. I like the drop point setup because of the fact that it's a much easier blade edge to sharpen when you're slinging across a stone or pulling back towards you to sharpen. It's much easier to sharpen. Also, I feel like a drop point gives you enough stabbing ability if you need that, but also it gives you the strength. But yeah, you can also get into some game, some meats, and use the belly of the knife there to you know, cut up something, skin something. I also want to note that the back of the knife here, it is extremely sharp, and they did that, I guess, for striking the fire steel that they sent to you, and any other fire steel that you might have. It is very sharp, and it works very good, and that sharpness continues all the way along the back of the knife. And this is about an 1/8 inch steel. I'm not giving out full specs, you know, I'm just gonna give it a quick review, but it's about an 1/8 inch steel, and if I remember right, the Rockwell hardness on this I think is about 53, and it is a 5160 steel, as you can see it right there. I like the way they did their name on the knife, Ontario Knife Company. It looks very nice, very classy. I like how they put the USA in bold. I think everyone appreciates a knife made in USA. Also, right here on the other side, it says Bushcraft Filed. All done very classy and very elegant. Again, you can kind of see the texture too of the machining of the knife, of how they machined it. I personally don't mind that. I think it has for a rugged look. But if you wanted that to look very, very polished, that's exactly where knives start getting expensive. You'd be getting the same knife with the same steel, the same handle, but just because it got polished, it'd jump up, another $40 just for a polished blade. So instead of 80, now you're paying I don't know, 120 or 140. It comes with these Allen wrench standard bolts that you can take out in case you wanted to replace the handle. It is full tang, very well done. It's got contours in the back so that it helps your hand slip off from slipping off. I like the finger guard here, so that if you stab something, your finger's not gonna slip up. I really like that. The knife is small enough to where you can get up in here and really control it for some cutting. No, it doesn't have that back piece here for grip that they call jimping. It also doesn't have a finger choil in the blade. But I feel like with a knife this small, it's not needed. The blade is basically about 5 inches long. And for comparison, I have here, 1 second. I have also a Kershaw, and I can't remember the name of this knife. I forgot the name, but I saw it in store and it was very nice, and I picked this. I'll probably do a little quick review on this knife later. But this is for comparison in size. See, so there's the Kershaw. For blade comparison, and then here is the Ontario Falcon. So anyways, that's my look at the Ontario Bushcraft, and I have these knives for comparison. Like I said, this was the Falcon, and this is another awesome knife. The blade thickness is huge on this, about 1/4 inch. Put those away. I really like the knife. I think it's really worth the money. Once I received it and once it's in hand, it really changes your impression and your opinion on the knife. The wood, even though it's laminated, I think it's a very nice wood and makes for a very, very attractive look. The wood handles is just a nice classic effect, and with the blade just being bare steel and no coating, I think it also adds for another nice effect to the blade of a classic look. And the wood handle is all done very well to help your fingers from slipping. Feels very good in hand, like there would be nothing cutting into you, nothing digging into you. If you like the Ontario blades, or you're looking for a nice affordable blade for the outdoor, whether it's for camping, bushcrafting, or possibly a survival knife, check these out. They also have a bigger one. It's forgot the name of it, but they have a bigger one and a smaller one. This is basically their medium size. But check them out. They're very, very nice blades. I really like their other knives, and I'll definitely be picking up another one later. I think the next one I'm adding to my collection is gonna be the Rat 7. But check it out, from Ontario. Yeah, I think this knife would serve very well in any type of camping situation. For whether it's bushcrafting, survival, I would trust this knife. I feel like it would baton, according to the right size wood. Of course, it'll baton appropriately, and it would be a very good survival, backpacking, hunting, camping knife, and definitely just check them out. And like I said, for the price, man, I just feel like you can't. It's hard to beat Ontario, man. They're doing a really good job with what they're putting out. And anyway, so that's my first impressions in hand of the Ontario Bushcraft field knife. And check them out. Good prices on them. Very well built knives here in the USA. This is a 5160 steel. It is not coated. Wood handle done very well, very elegant. And oh yeah, and I was going to say, and also it would even, just in my opinion, make a very nice, just a collectible, a nice collector's knife if you wanted that. Some people like much fancier steels, you know, the exotic steels and things like that, and more exotic wood handles and finishes and curvatures and all that. But this is a very purpose built knife for a specific purpose. But with the way they built it, it also serves a good touch of elegance and a good touch of aesthetics. Again, the Bushcraft Field knife from Ontario. Check them out. Once you have one in hand, I don't think you'll be disappointed. Have a good one.